So we're sitting at, there we go. All righty. So we're sitting at 12:02. So we're going to go ahead and jump in just to give you guys a quick cadence of how this is going to work. The goal of this hour is you're going to see me make a cookbook from scratch in 1 hour or less. I will break this into 3 parts. We'll talk about the recipe entry. We will talk about the designing of the book. And the third part, we're going to talk about the different binding styles, how to order, and ship methods. At the end of each section, I will stop for a few minutes and take questions. And then at the very end, we get the end of the hour, I have another half an hour that I can stay and just do Q&A. So if I don't answer your question by the end, most of the time I do, be sure to stay and I'll answer your question then. All right, let everyone in. We're going to get started. I do have my chat open. I will try to answer those as best as possible. If I don't answer your question and you need to reach out to someone, please always reach out to support at Create My Cookbook. They're amazing. We have some amazing people willing to help you. Carly and Heidi are unbelievable, and they will make sure that you get exactly what you need. All righty, so let's get started. I'm gonna share my screen. Oops, here we go. Let's make, sorry guys. What's going on here? There we go. All right, now I can share my screen. All righty. A couple of fun facts that I love to start with just about Create My Cookbook. So we've helped preserve over 6.7 million family recipes, which is really great. And one of my personal favorite facts is when we look at all the recipes and who they're authored by, the most common authors that we see are mom, grandma, nana, dad, and mama. So I think as a mom myself, I love seeing that. I think that's so special. It just shows exactly how important we our work is with our family. So all right, let's jump right in. Let's talk about recipes. So we'll start. If you haven't created a cookbook yet, you'll start here. You see I have tons of cookbooks. That's just for different projects I've worked on. And you can have as many cookbooks as you want in here. But if you're starting from, your original cookbook, you just click here, create a cookbook. We're going to make one for my mom. And I think we're on volume 4. So you'll want to title your cookbook. Great, lots of names. If you haven't come up with one yet, that's okay. Just give yourself a working title. You can always change it once you get in there. You'll notice that we have 3 themes that you can kind of start from here. I love starting with a theme, and the reason I love to start with a theme is we've had cookbook designers come in and select the font pairings. There's stock covers in there that make it really easy. You can always tweak it and make it just a little bit more your own, or leave it alone, and it still makes a beautiful, gorgeous cookbook. And I will show you how to tweak it and add a little extra flair, but it does give you just a great jumping off place. My 2 favorites are these country and the modern. And the elegant is great, especially if you're working on a wedding cookbook. So let me make sure we get everybody admitted. There we go. All right, got some new people joining. All right, so we're going to start today. Let's start with the modern design. I'm going to start there and start my cookbook. So there's a few ways that you can add recipes to your book. You can start working in your book. If you want to jump right in and just start adding recipes, you can do that. And the way you do that is you can come in and hit this little plus icon here and you can add a recipe page. Select a design, you can type the recipe and insert it into your book. And you could just work through your book page by page if you wanted to. Totally fine. There's a second way, and it's my personally absolute favorite way to create a cookbook, and that's working from your recipe box. So you'll see here in the top left-hand corner, you have your recipe box. If you click that, and I've got lots of recipes in here, there are 4 ways you can add your recipes to your cookbook. So you can, oops, got more people joining. Here we go. click the add recipe here. It's up on the top right-hand side. And the first way is you can just type it just like we just saw. So this is fantastic if you have a recipe in your head or you by heart. Just type it yourself. It should take just a few minutes there, and you hit save and I'll add to your box. The second way, and this is my favorite, is to use We Type It. And what's great about this is you snap pictures of your recipe cards, and we're going to type them for you and add them straight to your recipe box. You can go in and tweak them. If sometimes I know, for example, I inherited my great grandmother's recipe box, and I know I had to go in and tweak some things because some of the ingredients that were on her recipes, they didn't even exist. So I had to go in and tweak a little bit, and I'll show you how to do that as well. These are real humans typing your recipes. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't think that they're going to be able to type it, give it a try. You do have 2 credits automatically in your account. They're free. Give it a try. I submitted some pretty personally some pretty difficult to read recipes, and I would say 95% perfect. I did have to go, you can go in and take a little pass at it, and there was a couple of little things because my great grandmother wrote in cursive and had kind of smudged together that I had to fix, but I was able to get all of the recipes for a project that I was working on scanned and and typed, and they were back to me within a few business hours. So the turnaround time is typically takes just a few business hours, sometimes up to a business day. But yeah, so if you haven't started and you want to work fast, We Type It is the way to go. Invite contributors. This is the third way to add your recipes. This is really great if you're working with, I know someone said I'm working with my siblings to create a book for my mom. This is the tool that you want to use. All you have to do is click this. You have this shareable link that you can grab, and you could just text that to whoever, and they can go in and add the recipe. I'll even show you guys what that looks like from oops, there we go. And so what they'll look like for them, they'll get, whoops, sorry guys, there we go. They'll get a form just like this to fill out and add their recipe, and it'll go straight to your recipe box. It's super easy. And so that's great when you're working with family and friends. All right, let's get back. I think I have, give me 2 seconds, guys. Let me get my my screens back in order. There we are. All righty. All right. You can also, if you have their email, you can just pop it in right here and hit send, and it'll send them a little message with the link as well. So that's the third way. The fourth way, type in the chat. Does anyone here have like a big Word document full of recipes or anything like that? If anyone has that, type that in the chat, and I'll make sure that yeah, so what you'll do is we do also have this fourth option. It's really great. You could import a document, and all right, Susan, Lynn, you guys are going to love this. Make sure, I'm going to make sure you see right here, go use import my recipes, and you can upload that document, and we'll pull the recipes in there for you. Donna, you too. Make sure this is, you can make it super quick. Elizabeth, lots of documents. Yep, give it a try. Awesome. So, once your recipes are typed, oh guys, I got chat, everybody open. 2 seconds. Oh, come on, Zoom. There we go. All right, once your recipes are typed, you'll see them right here in your recipe box. If you needed to make edits, all you have to do is click on the recipe itself. You can edit it here. A quick thing to note is if your recipe is in your book and you make an edit to it, for example, let me just add a recipe page in here really quick. All right, so if you have a recipe in your book and you update it on the page, it's going to update in your recipe box as well. So just note that. So I had it in the book. which we have here.
And vice versa, right? If you
Yes,
update in the recipe section, it updates in the book.
exactly. You got it.
Okay.
Exactly. So what's great about that is, you know, I have this recipe box full of recipes, and it shares across all of my books. And so that's fantastic because when I made my first book for my mother-in-law, I had some recipes for myself that I added in there. And then when I made a book for my mom, I wanted those in there, but not all of them. But all of the recipes were available to me in the recipe box. I've even made a book for my sister at her wedding. So I've been able to repurpose and reuse these recipes for lots of really great things. So I'm going to
Now,
pause.
once you do that, because I'm at that level, I just did this morning, I went from my recipe book and created the book. I just didn't really know of all the layouts, how it would look. So I just had to pick one random and do the book that way. But I cannot find where to do the dedication, how to add the pictures and all of that.
Yeah. So we're actually about to cover all of that, and I will be sure to answer it. If I don't answer your question within the next section, I'll make sure to stay and ask that question. Okay.
Can I ask a question about recipes?
Yeah, let's talk about recipes.
Well, I sent in pictures and multiple pictures in one email.
Okay.
And and that was over the weekend. I have not gotten anything back.
And you just submit it over We Type It?
Yes.
Okay. I will at the end of this stay on and we'll check with support and we'll take a look and see what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, Grace.
Christine, I have a question too. If
Sure.
I have a photocopy of a recipe that's handwritten by a grandmother,
Yeah.
is there a way to maintain that as like a picture?
Yeah. So what I would love if you have that, I love it when you have recipe books where they'll add the photo, like you could upload the photo, like you could have it typed with We Type It, and then come in and upload it, pick one of the layouts with an image at the bottom and add, I was hoping I had a recipe card in here because I've done this before. Add the recipe card at the bottom of the page so that you have the typed recipe and the image of the recipe on the same page. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you can't just do the photocopy of the recipe.
You would just have to upload it as an image.
Yeah, you upload it, and actually
Yep.
you have a whole section that you can put in favorite pictures in. And what I do is I with each recipe, I put a picture to it.
Yeah. Sharon, you're getting ahead. That's okay. All right. Any more questions regarding recipes? We're gonna jump.
I have one more. So if I have about 30 recipes that I want to be typed,
okay,
is that where I would scan them all as one document and do import documents?
Are these do you already have them typed like in a doc, like a Word doc, or are they just
just a Word document?
Then they're already together?
I haven't scanned them or anything yet.
So are they printed or are they on your computer currently?
I started this actually way before COVID, so I'm not sure.
Okay. It kind of sounds like to me that what would be best for you is We Type It.
Okay.
Where you take pictures of them
Okay.
and just have them typed for you.
Okay, so what's the difference between that and doing the import my recipes multiple?
So if you had import my recipes would be if you had one like PDF or document full of recipes that you've just been typing from for years. And that would be for that. Now, for example, I have a recipe box and it has recipe cards and it has a bunch. I also have a recipe Ziploc, which is just a bag of recipes over the years that ended up in a Ziploc bag. I'm not sure why. But those would be great for We Type It.
Okay.
You know what? I wanted to say I used the We Type It. I thought it was great, but I had like that I will take PDF pictures of not PDF, but just do a PDF form like a Word doc or something like that to upload. and it never allowed me. It kept telling me that I didn't have it in a format, that if it was a JPEG or something like that, to do it as we type it. And no, it was a PDF. I tried Word and I tried PDF, and it didn't work for me. The upload the recipe.
I think that's why I stopped a couple of years ago. I couldn't get that to work either.
Gotcha. Okay, do me a favor, if you've tried that and had an issue, reach out to support at createmycookbook.com.
Okay.
Because it, I think there's something going on with the file, and they can help you figure that out.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I found it much easier just to copy and paste from the Word documents, even though I had to do it in sections. You know, I would copy the ingredients on one side and then go back and copy and paste the steps on the other side, and then go in and do whatever tweaking I had to do.
So you did
Yeah.
your own.
Because they were all in Word, yeah. So that's what I did. Or they
Well,
were in emails from because I didn't send out the invitations like that. I just did my own.
I
Right.
took pictures and then emailed them.
Okay. And I have a question. I tried to put pictures in, and the system kept telling me that they were too large. And I went into Paint and tried to make them smaller. And finally, I just took them all out because it wasn't a case of them being too large, top and wide. It was that they were too many pixels. And I finally gave up on that and just took all the pictures out.
Okay, we're gonna get to upload pictures, and if let's talk more, and maybe yep, we're gonna stop for question. Yep, absolutely. So, and we'll talk more about that. So guys, I'm gonna jump back in and go into building the cookbook, and then we'll get into design, and we'll have another little short Q&A break. All right, guys. So now all of our recipes are in here. Again, if you're working
Can I
from-
interrupt you? I'm sorry to interrupt again,
Okay.
but I know how to do all of this, and I've pretty much completed my cookbook. My problem is I don't have enough time to type them all in myself. So I went to WeType It. I sent in my recipes that I wanted them to type, but I haven't heard anything. And that's all I need to do is finish my book, because I've done everything else. I've done the cover, the dedication page. I put the pictures in that I
Yes,
wanted.
ma'am. It sounds like you're ready to go. So I
Mhm.
can't stop right now because I'm going to finish the
Yeah.
presentation. But if you want to private message me your email, I can. I'm sure. I know that they're working in support right now. But if you don't hear back, I will check on that myself and make sure that they get back to you.
Okay, so how do I message you back?
So just go down at the bottom at chat and select Christina Gibson and send me your email.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. Thank you very much.
Sounds good. All right. So guys, we're working from the recipe box. And so we can build a cookbook. Once your recipes are typed, you've sent them to WeType It, you've typed it yourself. Now it's time to actually build the book, which is really great. So if you wanted every single recipe that you have added to your book, you could simply select all here. It's going to select all the recipes in your account, hit back to action, and assign to book. I don't particularly want all of the recipes. I have lots of them in this book that I'm working on. So what I can do is a filter option. You'll see here. And I can filter by contributors. So I'm making this for my mom. I want all of her recipes in there. I can filter by categories. So if I were looking for things that were in desserts, I can grab some of those as well.
Yes, it's CS
And
154.
Oops, sorry,
13.
somebody's not on mute. If you'll just keep it muted, that'd be awesome. There we go. All right, can you guys hear me? Am I on mute? Okay, fantastic. All right, so you'll grab the recipes that you want in your book. Sure, I've got all of mine. I know I've got a couple of yummy entrees that I want to add as well. Make sure I have everything. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit batch action, add to book. A couple of things to note. If you select one of the layouts that include step numbers, this one here. If it is a really long recipe, it can continue on to the second page using the step numbers. If you have a book and you're trying to cram you have a lot of recipes and you want to try to get 2 per page, you could select 2 recipes per page and it will put those in there as well. What I like to do personally is I like to start with one of the layouts using the step numbers. And then if I have 2 that I want to combine, I'll go in and combine them myself and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to select the long recipe page with step numbers as my layout. And again, when we go through to tweak everything, we can change layouts, we can switch things around. This is just to kind of get the book going. So I'm going to hit next, and then it's going to create the pages. So this is kind of like magic, one of my favorite parts. And this is going to lay the book out for us. All right. So now we have our book laid out. The first thing that I like to do is I like to pop in to arrange pages, and I like to move my sections to where I want them. And you can have sections done, you can create your categories however you choose. Some people like to do them by family member or by season or by typical appetizers, entrees, desserts, things like that. And I'll tell you guys one funny thing. So I like to do things kind of based on the kind of course of a meal. And I've found over the years, it's funny because anytime I have I've worked with a man working on a cookbook, they'll put it in alphabetical order. So it always cracks me up. But for me, I want the desserts at the end, save the best for last. And then I'm going to have my soups and salads and sides, and I'm going to hit auto arrange. And what this is going to do is this is going to pull those recipes to the section that they belong to. If I wanted to move pages around, I can do that in here as well. It's pulling them in order and putting them in alphabetical order after their section divider. So now that I have my book laid out the way I want it, I can come in and add those finishing touches. So we'll start with the cover. Make sure I'm working in. Oh, I did want to go over themes really quickly. So I told you there were 3 themes to choose from, but there is a couple of others that are really fun. If you're working fast and need to make a cookbook quickly that's just gorgeous, if you come in here and go to more, change themes, there are 2 other themes in here that are fantastic, especially this heirloom theme. And what's great about it, it's a premium theme. It has backgrounds. And this book, it's fantastic. And it makes, the cover's gorgeous. You can just take a look at it and see. So this book, I would be just proud to just hit print and move on and have a gorgeous gift. So these are great if you're really in a rush and want to put a theme on there and just get ready to go. So I'm going to go back, just pointing that out, and go back to modern. So I want to show you a couple of ways. We have the recipes in, so now let's work on the design. I want to show you guys a couple of ways to really make your cover just sing and be absolutely stunning and feel really, really custom, especially if you have like a family photo or something along those lines. So what you'll do is you'll come in and hit the edit icon here. And what I love to do is we have stock photography, and you can search. I love searching things like baking or ingredients that are things that are in my cookbook. And you'll see that we have these stock photos that are $1.50. What's great about them, it's not $1.50 per book. It's a one-time charge of $1.50. But if you can find an image that has some blank space like this one here, this makes for a stunning, just gorgeous cover, and I'll show you. It takes just a couple of minutes. So we're going to import. All right, over here to the design, fill the image. Oops, let's grab that design, give it just a second. Sorry guys, I think my internet, there we go. Fantastic. I would go with a lighter text here just because I have such a dark text. And if I wanted to, like, I want this to kind of go down, I can go to my text and bring that volume forward to the subline. And remove it from the spine if I wanted to. Hit save. And this is a gorgeous cookbook. I could flip it over, put the same exact image on the back. And I have just a stunning, simple, gorgeous cover that looks very professional, and it's fantastic. If I want to edit, honestly, whether you put the title in the back or not is up to you. Half the time I don't do it. I'll just leave it with the image. Here we go. If you want to edit the spine, you can hit the edit icon. Go to this drop down here, and you're going to want to do spine background. And here's where I could go with a darker color. If I wanted it to be more like kind of gray, similar to the cover, the color of the image. I can also change the spine text image to be white, like I have the front here. And that's just a really quick, beautiful cover. Now, if I wanted to, we can also kind of pull these different text blocks around if I wanted to make them white as well. There we go. So that's one way. Another really great idea, if you have a family photo that you're wanting to use on the cover, you can go to picture, hit add photo, and upload from your computer. And here's where you'll just go to your file system on your computer and select an image. And what you can do, let's go to some of the images that I have. If you have an image that has some blank space, again, like here, it's fantastic. This was the picture I used for my sister's wedding for her cookbook. You can hit fill image, it'll pull the whole image in. There we go. And I would need to darken this so you could read it. And if I was doing this for my sister, we could retitle it to like recipes for a happy marriage. If you had, and so this image is great because it has a little blank space for me to add my title, and it's nice and pretty. If you had an image that, you don't have that blank space, but you're still wanting to use it. One other thing that you could do is you can make the image a little bit smaller. We could go in and select background color. And what I could do, this was a similar color that was used in her wedding, so I could use that as the background color. And then I could come to the picture. And here you'll see there's a little edit icon under her image. Sorry, guys. Let's see. All right. I'm going to apologize. I think I'm having a little bit of internet trouble because they're doing construction on my road, and it's not there. It is. Okay. I think that's me, guys. All right. So once we have the image pulled up, there are some really great things. You could do text. We could add some frames to this and make a really beautiful custom cover using the image. So let's see. We can do designs, and there are images here that you could pick, add text in here as well, and there are some frames as well that you could add and make a really pretty cover as well. And then you would just save it and upload it as your image. All right, so that is regarding the cover. Does anybody have a quick question on covers? Take a minute and stop here. Anybody? You can raise your hand. There's a little if you go down to the bottom where it says reactions, there's a little raised hand and I can see you. If not, we're going to keep going. No? Okay, I'm going to keep going, guys. Oh, wait, 2 questions. All right. Susan, I think you were first. And hit the unmute button.
I want to know, is there a way to put 2 pictures on the cover?
So right now you would have to upload that. You'd have to make a collage, and I'll send some resources. I'm gonna send a replay of this video today, and I'll send you some resources on how to make a photo collage, and you would upload it as one image.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Rhonda.
Just very basic. I assume you're pulling those photos, you've already uploaded them to the cookbook
ma'am.
somewhere? Okay,
Yes, ma'am. I was uploaded it from my computer. Yes, ma'am.
okay. And are you gonna show us how to do that at some
Yeah, I can
point?
show you again. Let me show you.
I'm sorry, I
but
came on about 5 minutes late.
that's okay. No worries. Welcome. All right. So if you wanted to do that, hit edit. You're going to go to picture, add photos right here. And there's the computer. Choose file. This will open the file system on your computer and you could pick an image from here and then just hit open. Yes, ma'am. Fantastic. All right. Last minute questions on covers. We're going to move on to the interior of the book. Okay. We're going to keep going, guys. So one quick thing to note, if you want to change any of your fonts, I suggest doing that now. And the reason for that is fonts they're all can be a little bit different, height or width. And so if you decide at the end, after you've done your layout, that you want to change the fonts, it may change things and move things. So making that decision up front will save you a time at the end. So if I wanted to change this to like Architect's Daughter, I could select that now. What I want to do, I want to take a quick second and explain the difference between all pages and this page only. So all pages is going to update it for all of those layout, all those types of pages in your book. You really should be working from all pages 99% of the time. It'll give you a consistent book. It's going to look nice when you update the font size. You know, you're going to keep things really consistent. If you got into a situation where you had a layout and you were trying to get it to fit and you just needed to squish it in just a smidge, that's when you could switch it over to this page only and drop the font from from like a 12 to an 11, just so you could fit it on the page. That really should be the only time you're using this page only. The rest of the time, work with all pages. It's going to save you more time and it's going to make a really consistent, beautiful book. As far as fonts, this is a question we get quite a bit. What size should you be going with? If you can read a newspaper, that's a size 10 font, if you're comfortable with a newspaper. My mom has to wear reading glasses and doesn't love wearing them in the kitchen, so I did like a size 14 in her cookbook. But the thing with that is quite a few of the recipes had to go onto 2 pages. As far as font sizes, 10 is really the lowest I would suggest. All right. So we have title page. I know someone had a question regarding how to add a dedication. So if you don't have it in there automatically, all you need to do is hit this plus sign, go in before or after, and select the type of page. And you could select the dedication page here. And we have text. We have some example text in here. Some of these are really good. If you need a little inspiration, so take a look at those. We have some in memory and the family. Those are really great little inspiration for you to and you can tweak them to fit your family. As far as your table of contents goes, this builds for you automatically. You don't need to do it. If you get in a situation where you've moved things around and it's not updating, just hit this little refresh icon. It just needs to refresh quickly. For me, one thing I want to note, I'm making a smaller book in this situation. So what I would like to do is I like the layout that is single column. It fills in the page, looks nice and full. And so I like to use that. If you've got a book with lots and lots of recipes, go with the 2 columns on the page and you'll get a full 2 columns, just kind of save pages. If you have a story, this is fantastic for, a sweet story about mom and the kids, and you have a photo. We have story pages in here as well. You can add story page. There are ones with images and ones just for text, and you can insert those that way. A couple of other pages that are really fun I'm going to show you. If you go to the extra pages, there are 2 options. There's a conversion page, which is fantastic. I like to add that anytime just because I find it really helpful. And so there's a conversions page there, and there's also one thing that's really neat is we have a blank page. And what I love about these, I love adding them to the end of each section so that it can kind of, just like our families, we can add more recipes to it at a later date, or in a situation where what I do often, and I'm gonna tell myself one day, but right now I get like world's greatest gift when I go to weddings, because I always take an image of the couples. I upload a couple of my favorite recipes, and then I fill the rest of it with blank pages and just put their name on it and have it printed. And people are always just like tickled to death, and it takes me like 5 minutes. So yeah, if you want to just do a gift and have one of your recipes and then fill it in for them, you can add these. And there's a way, if you're wanting to fill it in with quite a few, you go to more and add write in recipe page, and you could add like a group, like 20, 30, depending on how full you wanted to make the book. So yeah, that's kind of the extras. Now let's go into, does anybody have any questions around, let's see, we've talked about.
Yes. What
Yes.
about if you want to put like soups and salad in the middle of the, instead of up and then everything white, if you want to put it in the middle with a picture?
On here? So we could select the layout, and we can still, for the section dividers, you can go top or bottom. If you wanted, if it was really important for you to put it in the middle, you could create it as an image and upload it and then remove the text. Does that make sense? Or like,
Okay.
yeah, well, as an image. And what you could do, if you want it in the table of contents, what you'll do is make the text transparent so that you can't see it.
Okay.
Make sense?
Uh-huh.
Awesome. All right. So raise your hand if you have a question around table of contents, story pages, extra pages, or cover, and then we're going to jump into the layouts of recipes. Elizabeth? Oops, Miss Elizabeth, you're muted. If you'll hit bottom left. I'm going to stop sharing. Sometimes that's easier. Bottom left, there's a little microphone. Nope. All right.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we hear you.
I'm just wondering if there's a manual that we can download, because I know I'm gonna have to go back and refresh after some of these instructions.
Well, I don't have a manual. I do have, and I can send that in again the email. I'll send a replay to everyone. It will be a recording of this. And we also have a family cookbook kit that I could share with you that you could download as well. Kind of gives
Okay.
the high level.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, Rhonda, you have a question?
Yeah, again, probably very basic, and you may have covered it. Just my table of contents is all, of course, messed up. How does that all organize into the categories?
So it's going based off of, let's go back to it. The first step to do is going to be refresh the page. It could just be that you've moved things around and it needs a second to catch up. This little refresh button here, hit that and refresh your page. If you're still having issues, so it's pulling based off of your section dividers and then the recipes that are underneath it. And go ahead. I feel like you have.
So you have to do the section dividers first. I haven't gotten that far. And then it will.
You should have the recipes in there. But
I have them in the table of contents and then all the separate recipes. That's all I've done so far.
Okay. Yeah, it might be worth for you if you want to. If you don't have your photos added in yet, you could delete the pages out of your book. It's not going to delete the recipe. They'll be in your recipe box, and you could just upload it. Like I don't know if you missed the part where I showed you how to do batch action and add them to the book. Sometimes that's faster.
Okay, I think I got it. Thanks.
Okay, of course. All right, so let's talk about layouts and recipes. So once you have your book kind of, we've got the design, we've laid out where we want things. You may want to go through and add some family photos or some stock imagery, or switch some of the layouts around. So for example, see, this is perfect for this because this is a really large recipe. I don't love these step numbers being so large. Let me show you guys how to change this. If you hit edit and whoops, not that, and hit this right here, this little drop down, do step number and just drop that size. And again, I have it on all pages, so it's going to drop it across all the books and hit save. And I like that better. So just a little trick. So if I wanted to change the layout, again, you're gonna hit the edit icon. I can go to layout and I can pick other layouts. If I wanted to add an image with this one, I love adding some family photos in there. Or if you have images of your food, if you're wanting to find an image of something in there and you need stock photography, again, just click that. And you can search anything that you're kind of looking for. As far as the stock photography, again, it's a one-time charge, not per book, and you could add images that way. I'm going to show you guys how to bring two recipes and put them on the same page. So let me show you guys really quickly. And again, this is an example right here. This brown butter pecan pie, see how I have the step numbers and it's actually going across 2 pages. And if I wanted to, I could add, since I have blank space here, I could grab and do the continued numbers with an image right there. And I could add an image at the bottom of that page, and that looks really nice. All right, so let's find 2 recipes that I could put together. May need to grab a couple. Pick some. Working fast. I needed to add in appetizers anyways, so I'm gonna go categories, appetizers. That's what I'm missing. All right, fantastic. So, for example, I have these 2 recipes that are kind of small and I want to add them together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete this cream cheese bread spread. It's still in my recipe box. And I'm going to come over here to the buffalo chicken dip where I want it to be. I'm going to select layout. I'm going to select the 2 recipe layout. And then I'm going to come here to the second recipe and hit existing recipe. And I'm just going to start typing that recipe. I'm going to select it and hit save. And now I've just pulled it over to the other page. I have 2 recipes on one page. And you can flip through your book and do that as well. Any questions regarding layouts, design, uploading images, anything like that? You can raise your hand and I'll be happy to answer it. Yep. Okay. So we're coming up on the 15-minute mark. I'm about to show you guys.
I couldn't find the raise hand. I was just wondering, can you put a picture on the dedication page?
All right, that's a good question. Let me show you. You can't put a picture on the dedication page, but you can. There's a really easy thing that you can do. So what you can do is just come in, add a story page with an image, and on your text, title this dedication, and then put your dedication, upload your image, and hit save, and it'll look exactly the same. Yep. Fantastic.
On a recipe page, can you change the size of the photo?
Yeah, so let me show you how to do that. Let me see if I can grab this one. Okay, so what I can do is come down here, click on the photo. I could fill it to fill the whole image, or I can zoom in and out. This fit is going to fit the image in the box, and this fill is going to fill the image into the image container. Does that make sense?
It does. Yep, I'm going to go and try it out. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So one other thing that you can do, you'll see here on the section dividers, we talked about this briefly. Section dividers are a really great place to add either stock images or family images. And there are 2 layouts to choose from. You can do the really full image. And let's see, what do we have here? We're working with desserts. Add images there. Or you can do the smaller one and have the text above here. and then you put the image. Let me just grab a picture of, I'm going to use this. I like to use stock images on the section dividers. I like to put family photos in the, I can even show you. So like I've done, here, I'll stop sharing for a sec. That was my, can you guys see me? No? Huh, how strange. My camera was working just a minute ago.
You vanished. And then your
Hey.
face came back.
Hey. Guys. So, and it's funny, I think a couple times I've talked and held up the book and you guys couldn't see me. All right. So I've done like a stock image here on the section divider. And then I have a photo of my daughter and I here with the recipe for my mom. And so it looks really nice. And then I didn't put images on every recipe. Like I had an image of my mom's cheese ball here, so I added it with the recipe. But I didn't have anything here, so it's just like, but yeah, that's one fun way to do that.
What size is that book that you're holding up?
Oh, I'm gonna go through that next.
Oh, great.
I'm about to go through all the bindings and I'm going to show you, and that's where we'll really dig in. So yeah, I'm going to finish sharing. We're almost done with kind of design. I'm going to talk about ordering books, and then the big question that everybody has, we're going to talk about shipping. So, and then at the end, I'll stay for an extra half an hour, and then I've got to go grab my little monster from preschool. They had a Christmas party, so everybody send out good energy that she's not going to be too hyped up. Because they're just like, oh, here's more cookies and more cookies, and then ooh, okay. So yeah, you could pick a pretty baking image and add that to your section divider, and that it looks really nice as well. All right, so we've got our book designed, we've got images in there, we've flipped through, we've made sure our oh, let's do it this way. We're gonna do it, let's do it right. There we go. See how pretty that is? And so let's talk about ordering. So the first step to ordering is you're going to want to go up here to preview and order. This is where we're going to generate our print ready proofs. And these are the files that we print the book from. So a few things that you'll want to decide. Here's where you select all your binding styles. And this is everybody's favorite part. Let's talk about binding styles real quick. So my personal favorite, all-time favorite, well, I have two, but I think this one edges out, but I'll go through these, is the hardback wire. What I love about this book is it lies flat. It has the wire, it has the hardback, a nice thick spine. It looks really pretty when it sits out on the counter. And that's the hardback wire. It holds up to 200 pages. It's fantastic. The close second for that is the hardback ring binder. The reason I love this book is exactly the same as the hardback wire, except instead of the wire, it has the ringed binder. And what's fantastic about this is I can come in and add recipes later. This is actually the book that I made for my husband and I and my daughter, and so we're young. We still have years of creating those family recipes, and so as we kind of have one that becomes a staple in our family, I can create another page and just go in and add it to my book. If you're considering the ring binder, one thing to note, and I should suggest, is to come in and hide your page numbers. Let me show you how to do that. Because if you're adding recipes later and you're just kind of like popping in them to different sections, they're not going to make sense. So all you have to do is come here to page number and hide that page number. And again, so that's gone. So if you're considering the ring binder, consider hiding your page numbers. But if you're making one for the family, the hardback wire is great. If you have a cookbook, if yours is more of the coffee table cookbook, that you just want to look just stunning, gorgeous, like something out of a bookstore, the hardback case bound is fantastic. This book is gorgeous. It is it's fantastic for books full of family photos. Again, kind of that coffee table piece. That's the hardback case bound. Fantastic. Another thing I like to do, a couple years ago, I made my mom's book, and I got a copy for everyone in the family. Then all of a sudden, we started having like neighbors ask for copies, and just random people in the church. I got them a copy of the softcover perfect bound. This is really great, and you can do, like, if you wanted to do some of them hardcover and some of them softcover, you can order multiple binding styles, which is pretty great. I do suggest when you do that, make sure you look at both. I mean, anytime, make sure you review your proofs, but really make sure you look at the cover and make sure you look at the contents, because they vary just a little bit. So you want to make sure that you may have to do a little tweak when you order a different binding style. But this is great. It's a beautiful book. I don't have the soft cover Wire O with me, but I can show you some images of it really quickly. So what's fantastic with the soft cover Wire O is it does still lie flat. Let's see. And if you come here, come to the website, you can just scroll down to the footer and hit personal. Here's where your pricing calculator is as well. And you can also see images of the book. So you'll see here on the softcover Wire O, I'm going to show you guys this image right here. The wire sticks through the back, and what's the reason for that is that it allows the book to lie flat and it still has a spine. So it can be up on the bookshelf and has a spine. But if you want it to lie flat on the counter, it allows it to do that as well. And that's the softcover perfect bound. Yeah, any questions regarding the binding style? Raise your digital hand and I'll be happy to answer that.
Can you show the hardcover Wire O one more time? I wanted to see the binding and the cover.
Yeah, absolutely. So here is the wire. Can you see it?
Yes.
And then the binding.
And the image is printed directly onto that cover material.
Yeah, the image, I'm going to go over that when I show you the proof, but the image is printed, and it wraps around a little bit. So I'm going to show you, you'll see it in the proof, what you need to look for. But yeah. Awesome. Any other binding questions? Okay, we're going to keep going, guys. All right. We're going to select the Wire O because it's my favorite. Let's talk about paper really quick. So there are 3 paper options. There's the standard, and it is a 70-pound nat. It's great. We have the premium, which is a 100-pound gloss. That is really fantastic if your book has a lot of photos, especially family photos. The premium is fantastic. It has the gloss finish, and let's see, this one I did premium because it has the gloss finish like photo books, so it's really it's stunning. And then the third option is the Write in the Rain, and that's what I did for my own book. This is fantastic if this book is meant to be used in the kitchen and you're messy, and I am messy. If you're messy, then you want to the Write in the Rain is fantastic. I will tell you guys a fun story. I share it every time. It looks a lot like the standard paper, so if you get it and you're like, oh my gosh, they sent me the wrong paper. I did the same thing. I got my book and I was like, oh my gosh, I got the wrong paper. And I was like, guys, I got the wrong paper. And they're like, oh, throw some water on it. If you think you got the wrong paper, grab a little water on your fingertips, just kind of sprinkle it on there. If you can wipe it right off, it's the Write in the Rain. It's like magic. But if it goes right in, that you got the wrong paper. But guess what? It's just that it looks like the regular paper. So yeah, that is fantastic for books that are meant to be used, like you're baking it, it's going to be used in the kitchen a lot. I suggest the Write in the Rain. Any questions regarding paper types?
Sorry, I have another question on that. If you've added the additional pages to write additional recipes in, can you write on those premium and Write in the Rain pages?
You can write on that. With the premium paper, we do suggest like a ballpoint pen just because it is that gloss, and it could kind of you want to be more careful. With the Write in the Rain and the standard, you can write on those as well. The Write in the Rain, even you can write with pencil, and it works fine. Yeah. All right. Any more paper questions? And we'll keep going. Okay. All righty. There is an option to add the e-cookbook with your book. I love the e-cookbook. It's $2.95 per book, and it is so worth it. It's one code per person, and you can gift these. But what I love about it is just that when you're out shopping and when I'm grocery shopping, I use this app. I probably use the app more than I do the cookbook. And the reason for that is I can search by the recipe name, but I can also search by the top of ingredient. And so if I know that I've got some ground beef that I need to use tonight for dinner, I can just search ground beef and I kind of get like a list of all the recipes that I have in my book that include ground beef. And so I find it really useful when I'm shopping to be helpful. So totally up to you, but I love the e-cookbook. All right, so we're going to generate these proofs. While the proofs are generating, they take just a minute. Does anybody have any questions I can answer? No? Okay. So once the proofs generate,
I have
we
a
strongly
question.
suggest, yeah, go for it.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
We had a problem doing the cover photo, putting that on, and we got a message that said a warning about clarity and the number of pixels.
Okay. So you got like a DPI warning, and that's on the cover.
Yes. Is that a support question?
Okay. So what that means, no, I can actually, I'm glad that you asked it. It's a great question to ask. So when you get a DPI warning, it's basically meaning the image wasn't high resolution, like the resolution wasn't high enough. And so you run the risk of when you print it, it could be blurry. Take a look, generate the proof and take a look. Is it an image that like you scanned, or is it just, do you have the original image maybe?
We took the photo of it.
We took the picture.
You took the picture?
Yeah.
So if you have you have the original source, because sometimes if we like emailed it to ourselves, you may have compressed it. If you have the original source, try uploading that. But take a look at it and the proof. And you know, because what you see here is how it's going to print. And make sure that it's not blurry. If you still have questions about that, I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but there is a service called We Review It. And I can go over that just 1 second. And they can help you with reviewing images and give you suggestions there. You can also reach out to support and they'll take a look at it and give you any suggestions that they might see.
Okay, thank you.
My problem was the opposite. They kept telling me the pictures were too big.
That's what I heard, Susan. We're gonna figure you out.
Yeah, I just took them all out because I tried pulling them into Paint and saving them as different, you know, JPEG or the other ones, and they still came out like that. And I just kind of threw up my hands and said, okay, never mind.
Okay, well, let me help you, because I know it sounds like the images were important and they were going to make your book super special. So I'm sure we can get to it. It's good. It's better to have a file that's too big because we can always go down. What's hard is when it's an image that you want and it's not big enough. A couple of things that I've seen people do, kind of like what we talked about with that framing, is you could bring that image in and make it smaller and do like a background color, like a blue, and then put the image in there smaller and add like a frame or something. So that would be one kind of trick that you could do. I want to take a minute real quick and talk about this that you see here. When you're reviewing your proof, you're going to see this whole section, and you want the image to go all the way to the edge. And the reason for that, but what you don't want is you don't want text to be in this purple part. If it's a picture of your family, you don't want someone's face to be in the side of that. And the reason for that is either, depending on if it's a soft cover or hardcover, it's either the wrap. So it's the part that wraps around the book. So you don't want like Uncle Joe wrapped around the book. Or you don't want Nana's cookbook wrapped around the book, but you want some of it so that you don't have like a white strip. Or if it's the soft cover, that's the part that they cut. So it's important that the image go all the way to the edge, but you don't want text or someone's face in this purple part. check things like make sure that your spine text, if you change something, your spine checks matches your cookbook text. And so that's what you want to check on your cover. If you have multiple binding styles, if you're like me and you're ordering the hardback covers for the family, but you're ordering some soft covers as well, you know, make sure you check all the binding styles. You'll also want to, most of you have it on your computer already, but if you don't, it's totally free. Adobe Acrobat Reader. This is where you want to review your proofs, because sometimes browsers can do strange things. So just download them. Give that a second to download, and review your proof. Let's see. In Adobe, you'll want to scroll through. One little trick, if you are somebody who's concerned about you want to kind of proof it, you can print this. I mean, it has the watermark, but you could print it out at home if you wanted to, and go through with a pen and you know, red pen and read through your book if you'd like. But you want to take some time, look through this, make sure that you don't have any issues, or you know, you want to make sure that there's nothing falling off the page. You want to make sure that if you had 2 recipes per page, there's nothing overlapping. So take a moment to look through this. How it looks in this file is how it's going to print. So it's worth taking a moment to scroll through. If you find an error and you're like, oh, I've got to change this, all you have to do is hit, if everything was perfect and you wanted to order, you could hit approve and go to in order. If not, just hit cancel, go in and make your edit. I think I noticed in there, it's funny that I did this. All right, here's an example. This I was repeating, it's because I added those step numbers. There's no need to add the step numbers, it automatically does it. So let me remove those. There's no telling where that came from. All you have to do is remove it. The system, if it has step numbers, it's going to automatically add those numbers. So I did not need this. So let me remove those. There we go. And then I could just regenerate my proofs and go to order. Let me show you if anyone has interest in like the we review it. How you do that. All right, while that's generating, do we have other questions? We're getting up to kind of to our Q&A. We've talked about shipping. We're going to get to shipping. That's the part that I'm missing. All right, while that's generating, let me talk about shipping and then we'll go straight into Q&A. All right, so for the shipping of your book, you'll want to scroll down to the bottom right under support and click on shipping. Shipping depends on 2 factors. It depends on the type of book that you're ordering and the ship method that you're choosing. Books have various times they take to create. And so you'll want to take a look at what type of book are you ordering, and these are in business days, and then what is the ship method that you're going to select. And we offer both USPS and UPS ship methods. So it varies for everyone. But the easiest thing to do is just go down to shipping, you know, look at whichever book that you're planning to order, and then select your ship method, add those 2 together, and that helps there. All right, guys. Let me go back, see if our proofs, all right. As far as the we review it, if you're interested in that, they will go over, look through your proofs, see if there's anything that's overflowing, look at DPI warnings, take a look at your cover, make sure there's no white strip, anything like that. If you're interested in that, you'll just, when you generate your proofs, hit review, we'll review, and it takes 1 to 2 business days. We really try to get it out in 1 business day. It can take up to 2 for that. Yeah. All right, guys. You guys have me for the next 24 minutes. What questions can I answer for you?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
If you get just the e-cookbook,
yes, ma'am.
Can you share that online with others, or do you have to have that?
Yeah, it's 1 code per person. And so you could get, and you can get as many codes as you would like.
Oh, okay. So then it would come to you, or
So you'll get email once you order the code. Let me see if I can actually show you this because I have some e-cookbooks. Once you purchase your e-cookbooks, so once you purchase your e-cookbook, you will get, you can go here in your account to activation codes. And all the codes that you purchase will be in here. You have a few options that you can do. You can either email that person the code directly, and you know, if I wanted to send it to my mom, I could just pop her email in. Or if I was wanting to gift it, I can hit print certificate, and this is going to print out the code for them and give them some direction on these how to set up their how to download their e-cookbook.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Who's next? Just raise your digital hand for me, and I can answer any question. You go down to bottom reactions and hit all right, Vicky. Vicky, if you'll unmute bottom left-hand corner.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, so my question is about, like, I've typed the recipes in, and they, like, if they're too long, then they just still go down that page and it doesn't flow to another page. So I don't know how to make that correction.
Let me show you. I think I have a good example to show you as well. So, all right, so what you're going to want to do, let's just go to the book that I was just working on. What most likely is happening is you're not using a page that continues on, so you don't have one of the pages with the step numbers. So what you can do, and I know I have one in here, this one. All right, so what's happening is most likely you have the layout set to like long recipe, and so it's just didn't fall off the page. But you know, it's just really, really long and it's falling off the page. What you can do is go in and hit edit and go to layout, select one of the ones with the long numbers, and it will, you'll get a little warning once you change it to one of the numbers, and you can even click that warning and you can add the second page to it. It'll be a little orange box. Let me see if I can actually trigger that warning for you. Yep, see this little warning box right here? Now it's telling me, hey, you're falling off the page. I'm like, okay, I'm clicking it. I can just hit add continued recipe page and hit save, and it's going to add it to the next page for me.
Okay. And so, so like if it's on a page, like the way this one is on the right page, and I don't want it to overflow onto the, you know, the where you have to flip the page. I'd want it like, you know, mirror image on the same recipe. So how can I?
That's a great
know
question.
how to do that?
I'll tell you what I would do. I would go to arrange pages, and let's see, I'm working from brown butter pumpkin pie. I would move that, and you can see.
Okay.
And you can just drag it to where you have it one on each side.
Oh, I love that. So just to recap, every page should not necessarily have the same layout. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, if you go, if you want it to have the same layout, that's totally fine. But if you, and most cookbooks have multiple layouts, like up to 5, even in bookstores, most cookbooks, because recipes all come in different shapes and sizes, and they don't all look the greatest in the same style. For example, this cookie recipe has let me stop sharing. This cookie recipe that I have here, it has a lot of ingredients and it doesn't have a lot of steps, and so it looks better in 2 columns. Where this lemon cookie recipe has just a couple of ingredients and like 2 lines. So I kind of want to keep it together and add an image. So just, you know, just flip through and your adjust your layout.
All right.
Can I make a comment? Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. I was going to make a comment on the second page thing. That is, you should do it toward the end, because if you keep rearranging pages, you're going to wind up rearranging that too. So if you have a second page, I waited, and I'm almost done with my cookbook. I waited until toward the very end, and then I went back and checked all the double ones to make sure that I had them the way you wanted them. You know, the first one on the left and the second one on the right. So I didn't start doing that until, because I found at the beginning when I did that, then I started messing with other things, they got split up. So it's a good idea to wait till toward the end.
Yeah. Susan, you're so smart. I want to share you guys real quick. We have that's so smart. We have this Facebook group. If you haven't joined it yet, it's a wonderful space. I'm putting it in the chat so you can click right on it. If you have Facebook, click it. Go ahead and invite ask to join. Let me show you guys real quick. What I love about this group is it's closed, so you have to be invited. These are people who love family recipes, who love sharing tips and tricks on cooking. They love sharing their cooking. But they also, most of them are working on family cookbooks. So kind of like those little tips that you're sharing, Susan, you'll see people pop in here and ask questions, and then everyone kind of helps everyone. So it's just a really wonderful community. So if you have a moment, request to join this group. It's a really fantastic group. It's in the chat. I'll also send it in a follow-up email, so you can click there if you need it.
That's good. Okay.
Fantastic. All right. Vicki, did I answer your question?
I have one more question, different topic.
So go ahead.
I signed up for doing this after Christmas 2 years ago. And so is there a limit on how long I can keep working on it, or like a deadline?
No, there's not a deadline.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great. That helps me a lot.
Fantastic.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Susan. Well, of course.
I don't know if you can answer this, and I don't know if I'm being too forward. Okay. But I am way over budget on my cookbook. There's 158 pages. Okay. And I keep seeing every once in a while that you have a coupon for 15% off. And I'm going to be using the Wire O Soft cover cover. Do you have any idea if there's going to be? I'd hate to order it and then a week later there would be a coupon for it. Is there any way to know when it would be on sale? I'm up to $1,100 already. I mean, it's just way out of hand.
Okay, so reach out to support at Create My Cookbook. They can help you take a look at your book. There are some things that they could do. That there might be some, once you go over the 50 pages, there might be, they'll help you. That's a question we get, and they have some tips and tricks that they can take a look. They'll look at your book and say, hey, we suggest doing this, or they may have some suggestions. I haven't seen your book, but reach out to support at Create My Cookbook. Let them know the project you're working on, what you're planning on ordering, and they'll take a look at that for you.
Okay, thank you.
They're super helpful. Yeah, absolutely. Christy?
Yes, would you mind going back to brown butter pumpkin pie and showing how to add a second recipe? Like if you wanted to add your crust recipe to the bottom of that second page, is that just formatting? I watched what you were doing, but I missed it, and I really want to be able to do it.
Yeah, I love doing that, especially when you have like the crust and then you have the filling. This isn't a great one because I can't add it because I'm the same recipe on 2 pages. I can't just add one other. But what I could do in a situation like this flourless chocolate cake actually does have a like a drizzle that I can add to it. And so if I wanted to add the second part to that recipe, I'd go to layout, 2 recipes per page. I don't even know if I have it typed or not. Let's see. Icing, do I have it? I don't. And the worst part is my husband makes it, so I don't know the recipe. I'd have to invite him to add it. So I could type that recipe in there for the fudge, the fudge icing that goes on top. And I could add it to the bottom of that page, or switch it around to the top. And you can add the 2 recipes per page. Makes sense?
Okay, great. You answered my question. Yes, so
Awesome.
it's formatting, or we just change that one format for that one page.
Yeah. No,
okay, thanks.
All right, guys, I have 14 minutes. I'll make sure if anybody has, I'm going to get all 3 of you. I just want to make sure that no one else in the group has other questions. So you did hear Susan earlier. We are running a promotion through tomorrow. When you order 5 or more of the hardback case bound, you get 15% off. That's the book like this. I will also add the promotion code to the follow-up to our replay email that you
No,
get today.
I got that, except that I'm going to be ordering the Wire O soft cover, and it's not covered on that one. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'm
I'm waiting for a coupon for that one. So thank you.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. Rhonda, can I answer your question?
Yeah, unlike somebody that started 2 years ago, I think it was Susan, my daughter requested something like 2 weeks ago. So I'm thinking I'm just going to stay really basic for now, just to have her open something up. And so I think I read somewhere that you can add to what you've done and continue to, make another book, or how does that work?
Yeah. So you can make as many books as you want. And you can go back and like make edits to your book and order additional copies, or you could duplicate the book and kind of add to it. The third option would be that ring binder. You should consider that. If you want to start with just a couple of recipes, kind of get her collection going, start with a pretty cover, and then she could fill it in. There are lots of options. If you and that's the great thing, because if you wanted to start a book today and have something for the family, and you're still working on the family, the really big magnum opus of your family, that's fine. And we have, and I do it all the time. Like I was telling everyone, I'll make a book in like 10 minutes that just includes a couple of recipes. I'll add the blank recipe pages and a really pretty cover, and it makes for a really thoughtful Christmas gift or wedding gift. And so, yeah.
And so if I wanted to add to that, say like for next Christmas, a year from now or something, I can, is there, do you have to belong or I guess my question is that the recipes are always there and you can go back in whenever? How does that work?
You'll see this, let's see. We do hold your recipes for 90 days after you order. But if when you go to order, preview and order, here we go. Select your paper. So it's included that it holds for 90 days. If you make edits and order another book, it's another 90 days. If you need, unlimited revisions and you're kind of working on this, you can just do the basic plan. It's $9.95 a year, and that's going to keep everything on file, so you have no issues there.
Okay.
Fantastic. Awesome. All right. Susan, I see Susan Arneson? Sorry, I probably butchered that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Can you unmute yourself though?
If I have some suggestions on how you guys could make things better, should I send them to tech support?
Yeah, we would love that.
Well, unless there's some way to do this and I wasn't able to do it, okay?
Okay.
When you have a 2-page recipe,
hey, Susan,
yeah,
I got 10 minutes and I saw Susan Arnston was trying to, I had a quick question for her, and then I'll come right back to you. Is that okay?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Susan?
First, I attended the first half of camp a week or so ago, then I had to go to work. Is that recording still available?
Yes, ma'am.
Or maybe today yours is.
I'll send this one. If you'll reach out to support and just tell them what week you missed, and we'll send you the replay for that.
Yeah, and then today I had to work till I just got to the question, please. Photo resolution, if you guys talked about that. And the other thing was the overflow. I think I understand the overflow on text, but if you could give me just a couple of quick
Are you having, is it overflowing off the page, or are you having two recipes that are overflowing on each other?
On each other, or, outside the safety zone?
Yep, let me show you that really quickly. Share screen. Here we go. So if you have two and they're overflowing each other, you may be in a situation, there's two things. The first thing you could do, go to layout, there's two recipe per page layouts. There's one that is long recipe on top and short recipe on bottom. That might fix your. I haven't
tried that one. Yeah.
This one is just kind of like, half and half. If that's not working, your next option, if it was just like such a smidge, like you're just like right there a little bit, you can edit your style with this page only and drop your font size 1 or 2. just on that page. Most likely it's not noticeable and you'll be able to fit just a little bit more.
Great,
Again, I
okay.
went over this before. Don't never go below 10. It's, I mean, the only thing I would say 8 or 9 is for is like maybe your notes section. But really, if the newspaper is in a size 10 font, if you're in that situation and it's still overflowing on each other, you probably just need to split them apart. They're probably just too big to be together, and they need to be on their own separate page. They've outgrown one another, and they need their own page.
Okay, great.
If you have a page that is overflowing, and I think I went over this, let's go back to the brown butter. Here we go. If you have a page that's overflowing here, you can change. So if I had it and it was overflowing, change it to the step numbers. One of the ones with step numbers.
Yep.
Hit continued, add recipe page, and it'll add it over. If you're
Okay.
working, some people say, oh, I don't want the step numbers. It's fine. You can just hide them. Just go to step number and hide it.
Oh, wait, where'd you go for that? Oh, and design editing?
Edit.
Down and go step
Nice.
number and hit hide step number.
Sweet. Okay, thank you.
Of course. All right. Is that all your questions? Did I get you?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, ma'am. All right, Miss Susan, you're back.
Okay. On the 2-page recipes, is there any way to put a title on the second page?
On the 2-page recipe?
When a recipe slides onto the second page,
right?
It would
No,
be very
ma'am.
helpful. No, okay. And the other
Okay.
thing is, I could not find a way to add a blank line to the ingredients. You know, sometimes you have like frosting ingredients, and then you have the cake, say for example, the cake ingredients. And I would have loved to have put a blank line in between to separate them, and I couldn't find a way to do that.
Gotcha. Right.
I wound up using asterisks, but
Okay.
or
right.
yeah, but there is no way to do that, right?
Actually, no, ma'am. It's going to add it to that.
Yeah.
Actually, I just thought of a way that if you wanted to add that second page, that you could. It's a little bit, if you wanted to.
He's gone. I think she disappeared. I broke the system. I'm sorry.
Your question was too challenging.
Yeah. I think she's gone. Dum dum da da da.
Does somebody want to, I see somebody asked about Adobe proofing before I got here. I don't know what that means. Or one of you guys.
Yeah, if anybody can, Susan or Vicky, I guess. I don't know. I don't know about it. She just said you should.
Okay, when I know about, because I'm almost done. I've already got a copy of my book, and now we're going through it and reproofing it. So I've been through all that. But at the end, when you want to order, and it says you set it up as if you're going to order, and it makes a proof of your document, and it comes out like a laundry list. You know what I mean? It's one page after another, and you can open it in Adobe and print it out or just look at it. And the only difference is it's got a watermark on every page, but you know,
nice.
But it's, you know, and I shouldn't tell her this, but what I did is I sent it, the Adobe, the PDF to a friend of mine who's an English teacher to proof. Okay. Now it's too big to go through email, you guys, but there's something called WeTransfer.com, which allows you to email things that are too big to go through regular email. And so I sent my friend, and then she just said, on page such and such, you know, you should do this instead, or, you know, on page such and such, I found a typo. And she just sent me a whole list, you know, and then I fixed them from that. And then I ordered,
nice.
and then they recommend that you order one book so that you can check it, because sometimes the colors are different. So I ordered one book. It was great. It came within a week. Okay. And now we're going through it, and we have found a couple of other things that I didn't find and my friend didn't find, you know, and so my partner is going through that right now, and he's putting paper clips in where he thinks that things should be fixed. And so I'm going to do that. I probably won't do the proofs again. I'll just go ahead and order it at that point. You know?
Yeah.
But I've been working on this for over a year.
Hey,
So-
Mr.
Oh, I don't even want to tell this group how long ago I started one.
I only
my-
started a few weeks ago, so.
I'm at the
I have
point
a
now where it's
question.
like, I got to get this done because if I die, they won't have it. That's how long I've been working on mine. So
Yeah.
thank you, Susan, for that
Oh,
information.
you're welcome. Anything else? I feel like I'm an expert already. It's just that there's things I wanted
have
to
a
do that I
question.
can't do. Well, you can ask me.
Okay.
I don't know if I can answer.
All right, I've got, hey guys, I'm back. Sorry, I'm not sure.
Oh,
what-
okay. I
yeah,
took over for you. Okay.
Thank you, Susan. I mean, my
Well,
goodness.
no, I have one book, you know, printed. I
Oh,
ordered
sorry.
a book to check it. So I have been through everything that you talked about. So all I had was the little things that I didn't like, you know, that are part of the system. I'm in computers, so, you know,
Yeah.
I have a big mouth. So I answered a few questions for you.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that. Vicky, have we answered your question? I've got 2 minutes, guys, and then I'm gonna have to. I told you guys I have a very I'm gonna have a very sugar 3-year-old. So
My question,
I'm
super
mentally- I've
quick.
got my water bottle. I'm prepared mentally, but I have
My
time.
questions are really quick. So I keep getting notifications about the different sales and discounts and all that kind of stuff. Do they add up, or can you only use one or the other, or what, you know, like how does that work?
You can't combine the you can do, you know, you can't combine the promotion with the quantity discount. If you're planning on ordering more than 20, take a look at the there are quantity discounts that automatically apply. And again, you could go back to that pricing calculator and take a look at that. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank
Well,
you.
guys, this has been so much fun. If you have additional questions, support@createmycookbook.com. You'll get a replay email from me this afternoon. Takes a little while for the video to download and we get it uploaded for you guys. I will add we have the promotion that's currently going on. I will add that. I will add how to get into the Facebook group if you haven't joined that. Susan, I hope you join it because it sounds like you're
Joining it right now.
Yes, ma'am. There you go. If you have questions, Susan's in the Facebook group, so make sure you get in there. So I have had a wonderful time. You guys have been a great group. We'll have camp in the future. I'll make sure to send you guys that as well, so you can join if you'd like. Rhonda, good luck. It sounds like you've got a lot to do, but I know you can do it because we just made a book in an hour, so you can do it. Just get you a couple recipes in there. Add you a theme. You're gonna be good. Your daughter's gonna be. There are gonna be tears. We ask people if you get please share. What you'll see on our Facebook as well. People send us their photos from when they open it on Christmas, and they, as an organization, we do share those around. Everyone gets to see them, and they bring so much joy and so much happiness to us. And so when you guys do give these gifts, if you get a great family picture, please send it to us because you guys make us love doing what we do. So we thank you and we appreciate you. And thank you for coming today. If you have questions, support at Create My Cookbook. And if not, I'll see you guys at the next cookbook camp.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck with your 3-year-old.
Thanks, guys.